Hey guys, Bajer here, and welcome to Valheim. If you're watching this, you already know this game, and you probably already own it. If you haven't bought it already, I would advise doing so right now because it is one of the best survival craft games that I've ever played. So, to start off, all you have to do is create a character. You get to choose your gender, your skin tone, your hair, your beard, and your hair color. I'm just going to go with a quick ponytail and nice long beard for a Viking warrior, and make my hair nice and white. Give my guy the name Bajer. Little spell difference, but alright. And then, oops. And then we go ahead and create a new world. We're going to call it YouTube for now. And start. This is my first of many video guides that will go over all the basics of Valheim. I will also be making tips and tricks videos, boss guides, build guides, etc. These will be released soon, so subscribe to be notified when they are published. If this video helps you in any way, don't forget to drop a like. Anyways, let's get into it. Alright, once the flying raven lady drops you off, you're going to be starting between a bunch of rune stones, and there's going to be a bird here. A little raven named Hugin, one of Odin's ravens, and you can talk to him, and he's going to tell you some general tips throughout the game. He keeps appearing all the time, and you kind of are forced to talk to him unless you just want him to keep following you. First thing he tells you to do is to register a location for the first boss. First boss is Eikthyr, and it marked on the map the location of where you can summon him. But we're not going to worry about that right now, because that's for another video. For now, the first thing we want to do is start getting resources. Two main resources at the beginning are stone, which you can find laying around on the ground as such, and wood, which you can either find lying around in the form of branches or obviously in trees. To start off, I would not recommend running around looking for branches. I would actually recommend breaking trees with your fists, and that's because you get to level up your skill unarmed and you get more wood from it. Speaking of skills, you are given a whole set of different skills. At the beginning, all you have is a couple of them, but as you do more different things like swimming and jumping, you'll unlock more until you have like a whole list full of skills. And how you level them up is just by doing those actions. For running, obviously you just run. Unarmed, you level that up by hitting things with your fists. When it comes to weapons like axes, you usually level them up by hitting, you hit enemies or people with axes, and that's how you level it up. Alright, first things first. At the top left is your inventory toolbar. So right now all you have is a torch, but if you click tab, you'll be able to see your full inventory along with all empty slots of your toolbar. Also, next to your inventory, it shows your total armor. At first you'll only have one because you have a rag tunic on. Later on, you can build different armors and stuff to get your armor up, and that helps you take reduced damage and gives you more health. And you also have your carry capacity. It starts out at 300. I'm not sure if you can get it leveled up later on, but each item weighs different amounts. Wood weighs 2 per each, and things like raspberries only weigh half, and so on. At the bottom left, you'll see the health bar, along with a fork and the sign of well rested. You'll also see 3 squares. Each one of these represents a food that you can eat. So, if you go and find some raspberries, which you'll find everywhere around the forest, go to your inventory and right click on it, you'll eat one raspberry. You can only eat one raspberry or one type of each food at a time. So, as soon as you eat it, you get a health boost, a stamina boost, and 1 tick of health per second. For example, if you check the raspberry in your inventory, you can see that it weighs 0.1, gives you 10 health, 20 stamina, 1 health per tick, and lasts for 600 seconds. Other foods might last a lot longer and give you more boosts. Raspberries are honestly just the first, most simple food you get, so it doesn't really give you much. So for right now, the first thing we want to do is build a stone axe. From there, we'll be able to get more wood more quickly. You'll notice that at the bottom, you have a yellow stamina bar. At first, all you have is about 3 tabs of stamina, and it runs out pretty quick. The more food you eat, the more stamina you get. Each type of food gives you a better stamina boost along with the health boost. And it gives you more stamina to use. Once we've got ourselves a nice axe, the next thing we're going to want to do is build a hammer. After we build a hammer, we're going to want to build our first base. Rather, our first workbench. A workbench unlocks a lot of new recipes and lets you build things at it and around it. You'll need a workbench to be able to build a home, or chests, or other tools that you'll use. When finding a good place to build your home, I suggest finding water. Building near water is very helpful for 2 reasons. For starters, necks are found there. Necks are little gecko lizard things that attack you, but are also very easy to kill and give you a quick, easy food resource that gives you pretty decent health and stamina boost. The second reason that you should always build at least near water for your first base is because there's a second resource there, flint. Flint is a very important resource and it helps you unlock a lot of different building things and tools. If you're not near it, it might just take too long to get to flint every time you need it. That's why I recommend building near water. You notice when you swing the axe, you hit everything in the axe's path. That means you can hit even up to 3 or 4 things at once. This is helpful when you're trying to chop down trees that are near each other. Obviously, wood is a very important resource in this game. Everything you build needs a little bit of wood for the most part. One thing to note about trees is that when you chop them down, the whole tree falls. And it does a lot of damage. This means if you don't watch out and the tree hits you, you're probably going to die, at least early on. Like that. Another thing to note is that the tree, being able to do damage when it falls, can also do damage to other things, such as enemies and other trees. If I were to fell a tree in the direction of more trees, it would do a ton of damage to those trees. And then it can create sort of a domino effect if you keep chopping down trees in the same direction. Eventually, you'll have a whole forest chopped down in a pretty short amount of time. When your HP drops to 0, you'll die, and you'll drop a little rune where you died. Then, you'll be teleported to either the beginning area, if you haven't slept in a bed, or if you have slept in a bed, then you'll be teleported to your bed. I unfortunately hadn't made a bed yet, so I was teleported to the beginning. That being said, I have to go back to where my body was, and then I can recollect all the items I dropped. You drop everything when you die, and you also lose a little bit of XP in all your skills. So, try not to die. There are 3 types of animals that you'll find roaming the woods. You'll find deer, boar, and necks. Deer are pretty common, but they're pretty hard to catch unless you have a bow. There's 2 ways you can try to catch them early on though. You can either chase them down until they get stuck in a tree and beat them to death with an axe, or you can sneak up on them with a knife or an axe and kill them that way. When you sneak, you do extra damage, but it is pretty hard to sneak because it uses stamina and it's just really slow. Boar, while being a great source of meat, are also the main source of scrap leather early on. Scrap leather can be used for a lot of things, mainly being the bow. The crude bow is the first ranged weapon you get, and it's super important because it can help you get deer, and it's just good in combat all around. One thing to note on location is the types of trees. In the first area, all you'll really find are birch and beech trees. Once you start seeing pine trees, you'll know that you're out of the main area, and you'll start seeing harder enemies. Honestly, if you haven't gotten a couple basic weapons yet, I'd stick to the first area. Stay where the birch and beech trees are. Alright guys, once you found the perfect area to build your first home that's close to the water and close to the woods, go ahead and place your workbench. Make sure that's a flat area, but it doesn't have to be too perfect because you can always place more workbenches. You'll notice right away that you can't actually interact with your workbench until it has a roof. So for that, go to building, build a wall here, a wall here, a wall here, a wall here. And then you're going to use the thatch roof, 26-degree angles, build one on top, and another one. After that, you'll be able to interact with your workbench. Sometimes it won't let you, like it just did for me. If it isn't letting you, go ahead and deconstruct your workbench, and then rebuild it and push it as far into the alcove as you can. Sometimes it's just a bit finicky. Now it should let you. You'll notice in the workbench menu, you have 3 different things you can do within the workbench. You can craft, upgrade, and repair an item. In the craft section, you'll be able to build all your new recipes that you've gotten, such as shields, armor, and flint tools. In the upgrade section, you'll be able to upgrade all your tools that you have. Unfortunately, you can't level up your tools or armor any higher than your workbench level is, which starts off at level 1. You level that up by building tanning racks and chopping blocks nearby. We'll get to that in the next video. The third option is you can repair an item. Feel free to repair all your items, as it doesn't actually cost anything to repair them. You don't lose any resources, so whenever you're nearby, always repair your items. Once you place your workbench, it might be dark for you. I know for me, the first time building, by the time I got to this point, it was nighttime, and I just wanted to get a quick house down. So I want to show you how to build a super fast, super easy house that uses as little resources as possible. Just get your wooden walls. You're going to place 7 walls down. Then you're going to get the thatch roof. Place 2. And place 2. Now you have this little tiny hut. It's a little bit grimy, but it works. And then all you have to do now is go to furniture, go to bed, and place a bed inside. From here, you'll be able to claim the bed, and this sets your spawn point. So the next time you die, you'll actually spawn here. Now the last thing keeping you from sleeping is that it needs to be near a fire. So for that, go ahead and go to your menu, select campfire, and place a campfire next to or at least near your bed. Now it should be able to let you sleep, and you'll be able to sleep through the nights. Alright guys, that's all I have for you in this video. Today I showed you how to build all your first beginner tools, I showed you how to build a workbench and the alcove around it, and your first little hut to sleep in. In the next video, I'll be showing you the next tier of tools and armor, such as leather, bow and arrow, and flint tools. We'll also be going over more advanced house building, settling in the land around you, and upgrading your workbench. Don't forget to subscribe to be notified when the next video is published. If this video helped you at all, go ahead and drop a like. That said, enjoy Valheim and happy gaming.